This live stream portion of DC So Sanctuary was brought to you by AstraZeneca. We put patients first. We play to win. All right, there I am, guys. Okay, it took me a minute, but I'm here. I was trying to figure some of this out, guys. I'm here. I'm here. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Tom. Thelma. Hey, Meek. What's going on? Dolomedics. What's going on? I'm here, guys. I'm here. Can everybody hear me? If everybody can hear me, give you like a thumbs up or some kind of indication to chat. So everybody can hear me. Hey, Isaiah. What's going on? Guys, what's going on? I'm here. I'm here. Can everybody hear me? I want to make sure, because I feel like before I do these lives, it's like I'm setting the stage, like one of the directors of General Hospital. I gotta make sure everything is on point. I gotta make sure you guys go. Okay, Isaiah's audio is good. I'm glad to hear that. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that stuff. Thank you, Dolomedics. Thank you. I gotta come up with the entrance until I come in. I almost was not gonna do a live today, but I said, you know what? I gotta do a live because next week's gonna be Christmas Eve. So I don't know if everyone's gonna be on YouTube, and we got that New Year's Eve. So I gotta do something, guys. I gotta do something. I was reflecting still. I wanted to go to part 2 of last week's past soaps and their impacts. I just managed to catch a little bit of GH this week. All right, Meek, good to know. Albert's in the chat. What's going on, Albert? What's going on? I managed to catch this week's GH. They really wasted my dude Rory. They really wasted him a lot. What can you do? It was a waste. I thought when he was mentioning his family, I think it was this week or last week, I thought we were finally going to get somewhere with the Rory situation. We did not. He's not Miss Wu's son. He's not nobody's son. This tends to be a trend with the PCPD, the new officers that come in. They date someone and then get murdered. Do you notice this kind of trend is going on? Logan Hayes, anybody? Cooper Barrett, you know what I'm saying? Nathan West. That's a little bit of a trend I'm starting to notice. It's a bit of a trend. It's a bit of a trend I'm starting to notice, guys. It's a bit of a trend. Isaiah says, I wish they never got rid of Cody and instead of Rory. I have to agree. But unfortunately, he's Mac's son, so he holds more relevance to the canvas, unfortunately. So he's going to be sticking around for some time. He's going to be sticking around for some time. With his quasi-sibling, Maxie. So he's going to stick around for some time, guys. Just stick around for some time. All this week, guys, throughout the week, I'm watching probably like 20 soaps. It feels like it. I'm watching my British soaps, my South African soaps, my American soaps, obviously, and I'm watching past American soaps like Another World, Guiding Light. It's always interesting when you watch those shows in the past and you get an idea of how the character was. Even Classic GH, which Classic GH was really trash until they brought in the whole Luke and Laura thing going on. It was boring. Let me tell you. Now, fun fact, there was a British soap by the name called General Hospital 2. Literally, it ran for I think it was 4 days a week back in the 70s. They got canceled too. They didn't make the cut. I think the problem is that GH really doesn't live up to his name. I feel like if the show creators could go back, they'd probably give it a different name, like Never Say Goodbye or something else, not call it General Hospital, because we all know it barely takes place in the hospital at this point, but that was the name they gave us, so we just got to stick with it. You can't even work the name General Hospital to the sentence. It's not like All My Children or As the World Turns or Guiding Light, Days Right Light. You can't work that into a sentence, Do you remember when they did the Story of Soaps, when they had that special Story of Soaps back during the pandemic? And they showed a General Hospital commercial, and Sonny and Laura were in the chapel as part of the promo. And then Sonny goes, "Thank God for General Hospital." How do you work that into a sentence? How do you work that into a sentence like the rest of the soaps? All right. So Dolomedics says he was destined to die just like Lulu and Max's love interest back then. Exactly, Dolomedics. Exactly. Like Cooper Barrett and Logan Hayes. Logan Hayes, I think his name was. Logan Hayes. He was Scott Baldwin's son. Scott Baldwin had just a curse on his life, man. His kids always stay dying, man. They just stay dying. Serena's the only person that managed to escape that curse. She's the only one. Isaiah Hill says, I just saw on Reddit that GH was voted best soap of 2022. Who was in charge of that? Who was in charge of that that poll, Isaiah? Who was in charge of that poll? But honestly, though, GH wasn't really a bad soap because in the beginning of last year, I was praising the soap. I felt like Frank Valentino was doing a good job, but I feel like what happened is that the residue of Ron Carlivati wore off. It wore off officially. I know everybody says he didn't do a good job on GH. He came with these wacky storylines. And in a way, I don't think he got the support he needed when he was writing for the show. But he made the show interesting again to me. And I know people didn't like the One Life to Live characters. I personally did. Um, it was just something different. But the problem is, I think Candace brought this up in her live, is that you had two of the same archetypes on the same show, so it didn't work. You know, Blair was the One Life to Live version of Carly. Todd was the One Life to Live version of Sunny. And you had, like, it was too many of the same archetypes, I think, pre-existing on the same show. But it would have been interesting to see what would happen if they didn't have the whole loss to a Prospect Park, how the characters from Llanview and their storylines could have kept, we could have kept reviving that. And who knows, maybe Erica Kane would have made a cameo on GH, possibly. Who knows? We don't know that for sure. Who knows? We don't know all that for sure. My whole thing is, I don't know if they covered it on GH, but my whole thing is, did they ever mention was that other body that was found in the room with Rory? They just never seem to mention that. You know, they just, this is the thing. Because, you know, I've been watching all past soaps this week. You guys know, man, I'm almost talking about past soaps because I'm always watching past soaps. I'm still watching Another World 1980s right now. And like I said, some of the storylines, some of the scenes a little drawn out. Not gonna lie. There's been a little too much time in Ada's kitchen talking about bitch. 10-minute long scenes, you know? But the way it was is that you really got this genuine feel of each and every single character, right? When I was watching these past ups like Another World or Guidelight 1980s, that when something dramatic happened, you really felt the impact of it because the pacing was nice and slow, but it wasn't boring either. At the same time, it wasn't boring. So it was a fine line that they rode, but they managed to make it work. All right, Candace Mack. Okay, Candace Mack, what's going on? Did someone say Candace? Hey, Candace, how you doing? Okay, Sarah the Tom them says, Candace, why are we always in the same space? Yeah, you guys always pop up at the same time. All right, Terrell Eugene Bellinger. Hey, DC, I hope you're enjoying a wonderful holiday season. I definitely am. I am. It's been a good season. GH was very dry this week. B&B, we all know what B&B is. I don't think I need to go into. I don't catch B&B probably till like a week after storylines play out, because it's usually Thorsten K yelling, and you can catch the Irish accent. If you listen closely on B&B, you can catch that Irish accent a little bit when you listen closely. And then YNR has actually been improving. YNR has been giving me classic YNR. And then with Days, obviously, like I said, the characters being well written out very well. Like when I think about soaps, when we think about like even social issues on soaps, which I don't know if they're being brought up that much today, possibly, I don't know. Sometimes I wondered, are most TV shows all social issued out? Like I saw something on Hulu the other day and said Beauty the Beast, and I was like, is this really Beauty the Beast? Or did I just slap some black people in here and said, this is our 30th anniversary special? You know, but I was sorry guys, let me get my train of thought. I had to get that out there. But you know, when I think about social issues, I really felt like ABC was the network with the soaps that did the best. I can't necessarily say for Loving, because I've seen Loving. I don't really feel like social issues was their thing. I feel like Loving struggled to find an identity to the end. They're going through identity crisis. All My Children tackled it, I think, pretty well. All My Children, One Life to Live. GH had actually some good moments. Obviously, Robin Stone, they had some good moments with that. Christina's storyline back in 2009, 2010. But One Life to Live and All My Children, I feel like we're constantly telling social issue storylines all the way up until their end. I mean, I think we had the OPP, and not the song, but OPP, One Pure People storyline on One Life to Live, where there was the racist arsonist Tate Harmon, and he was taking down people in Llanview. I think it was Nora because she was Jewish and her daughter was biracial. Then you had Antonio and Christian, the Vega brothers, which they look good. Okay, those are some good looking men, all right? Evangeline, obviously, she was black. That was her reason, and it was just very, very interesting how they did that. Very interesting. All right, let me come back over here to the chat. Let me go over the chat. All right, let me see here. Hold on, guys. I got you. Okay, Meek says, whose earring did Rory have in his pocket? It's clearly not Esme. Liz and Nicholas have lost their damn minds as lie. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Liz and Nicholas, with that whole Esme thing. I thought it was so stupid. Like Elizabeth is sacrificing so much, and it's like, for what? Like, this is Nicholas's mess. You just put yourself in a situation you just didn't need to be in. It's giving Harley Cooper. All right, Terrell says, I wasn't alive when Rachel and Mitch had an affair, which resulted in the birth of their son Matthew in Another World back in 1980. Exactly. Because I had been watching 1999. I was like, I want to see how this was when this played out back in 1980. So, and I got to see a little bit of Iris Corey. So that was pretty good. Okay, Candace Mack says, you leave my loving alone. Candace, I think we both know loving had an identity crisis to the end. That's always how it was when soaps that were getting canceled. They always got it right at the very end, but it was too late. It was too late. All right, Albert says, what did you think of Trina appreciating Rory after he died? The scenes were very over the top for me. I don't know why. I wasn't convinced. And even Spencer's like, man, Rory, he had a lot to live for. You didn't care about Rory. You happy because you only got a month or two now you could swoop on it. Like, y'all were friends. Didn't he assault Rory at one point in time? Yeah, they were friends. All right, Dolmac says ABC did a great job of social issues in the 90s. Yes, they did. Jakaria says, hey, DC. Hey, Jakaris, how was your B-Days? You were super pumped about that. How was that? Terrell says, Agnes Nixon took her stories by heart and ran with them. Yes, she did. And it makes sense because she was a protege to Erna Phillips. So you can see where a lot of that influence came into play. Kenneth says ABC and CBS, then NBC did good with social issues. Yes, but I feel like ABC did the best, and the rest eventually caught on. CBS, they took a minute. They took a long minute to do it. NBC kind of was doing it, but they were just doing it in weird ways, especially on Passions. They were putting it out there, but execution wasn't there from back in the day. But they're getting it together now. All right. Candace says, hold on, guys. Ooh, this chat's going fast, guys. I'm catching up. Okay, Candace says, well, Erna taught Agnes and William how to do social issues. Yes, she did. Jakari says, I love John Evangeline. Remember, they was about to put Sean with Carly. Yes, they did. But I think the actor who played Sean, he was on Greenleaf. And I think that's what happened. It didn't work. Okay, Sean and Carly, such amazing chemistry. It was such a missed opportunity. Tom with them says they agree. Terrell says Agnes was responsible for creating mother-daughter duos on each soap. She worked on Ada and Rachel. Yeah, she did Ada and Rachel. Yes. Mona and Erica on My Children. Kate and Ava on Loving. Isaiah says, I think Bean Bill's last social storyline was Maya's transgenderism. Yes, it was. And Jakari says, my B-Day was so amazing. I went out to dinner. Okay, where'd you go to dinner, Jakaris? In the response, Isaiah, I honestly think B&B does not do social issue storylines because they're international audience. That's always been my theory, because if you notice, B&B does not care about what we think. They don't care about their American audience. They don't care about us. Okay? I don't know if y'all notice. They don't care. They care about what their international audience thinks, because that's where the moolahs come in. That's why they can keep doing these scenic shots in Monaco and all these places. That's where the money is coming in. So, they got to go where the opportunity is. B&B's got to go where the opportunity is, and it's not with us. It is not with us. B&B is broadcast, I think, almost close to 200 countries at this point. So, and there was been times back in the day when I used to play B&B in Spanish and they go, ¿Por qué, Ridge? You always know that you watch B&B, always say broadcasting in Espanol. All right. Okay, Albert says, hold on, guys. So Albert says, if you like the live stream, hit the like button. Please really does help out. Trust me. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. If you like the content, definitely. George says, hey, DC. Hey, George, what's going on? All right. Jakari says, I went to a place called No Way Jose. And you know what, Jakari? That is some smart advertising at restaurants' part, because you see a name like that, you go, okay, let's find out what they got going on. The food might not even be good, but it's like, let's go find what's going on. They're called No Way Jose. I like that. All right. Terrell says, Dark Shadows didn't really fit with the traditional stuff they're on at the time, because it was all gothic and supernatural. Yes, Terrell. I'm actually still watching Dark Shadows. Sometimes I take a break from some past soaps and I watch here and there. Dark Shadows, the thing about it is that most soaps have a general enough theme that allow them to go on for so long. Like, they have some things that they did, but they were still general enough. And sometimes I wonder with Dark Shadows if it was just so specific, where you wonder how long can they keep this going. Because I think that's the difference with a lot of soaps, like daytime dramas, and primetime dramas, which I don't consider primetime dramas soap. I know I'm discriminating, I'm prejudiced against primetime dramas, guys. I'm working on it, okay? God is working on my heart, okay? But primetime dramas are specific. There's a plot, there's an understanding, and this is how it is. Whereas daytime soaps and even sometimes international soaps, they come in with a plot, but it gets general enough down the line that they can keep the story going with somewhat of a central theme, but it's still general enough that they can keep the show going almost. I won't say indefinitely, but for a long period of time. That's why it's called serial drama, not cereal and milk, but serial, SERIAL. All right. Isaiah says, I love B&B's homeless episodes from 2010, 2011. Yes, they were good at that. They were good at that. Even their 1994, 1996 time, Stephanie, when she went homeless and she had amnesia. Meek says, I think Bill's having a nervous breakdown without Katie, which he deserves it. Well, no one deserves to have a nervous breakdown, but I feel like Bill has treated so many people like crap, including Katie. And I'm glad that Katie's like, yeah, I'm not here for it this time around. I'm not always gonna be here for you. Albert says, how does it feel to be back doing a live stream again? Albert, it feels amazing to be back doing a live stream today. I'm excited. I miss talking soaps. I miss it. I was like, I got to be out here talking soaps this week. It's a nice form of therapy for me. It's a nice form of therapy talking my soaps. Dolomedic says, I remember when B&B used to do international press tours and there was such a delay that they would have to bring along actors who've been off the show for months. I think in some ways they're still doing it. And I think they realize that's where their moneymaker is, international audience. So I can't, because I think the international audience loves the Ridge and Brooke stuff because we're clearly not enjoying it. People were complaining since in Soap Opera Digest and Soap Opera Weekly since 2006. So it's not us who's enjoying it, obviously. And I think that's why they stay away from like high stakes type of storylines with gunshots, people falling out of windows. They stay away from those kind of storylines, I think, because I don't think it attracts their international audience. Shanika Freeman, hey Shanika, she says, do you know which country B&B has the most ratings? I'm curious of the soaps and B&B's most watched country tackle social issues. I watched some Argentine, German, and some Brazilian soaps, LGBT themes. Yes, there are. There's a Brazilian soap called Escribo and Estrella. It's like Written in the Stars. I caught that back in the day. I watched Telemundo too, guys. Guys, I'm a busy soap man. I'm telling you, I'm a busy soap man. I watch soaps from all genres. I'm telling you. All right, so to answer your question, Shanika, I know one of the biggest audiences is Dubai, and Dubai is the United Arab Emirates. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. We all know Dubai is like this destination country. They're pretty conservative people, if you know what I mean. All right. Jakari says Port Charles went supernatural. I guess nobody didn't like the hospital soaps. PC is very different from GHPC. Yes, it was. They lived in the same universe, but they were two totally different soaps. So I know ABC had this thing back at the time where PC came out 12:30 and GH was the last open day. So they wanted to start the day off in Port Charles and end the day in Port Charles. A couple of issues they ran into was that a couple of local ABC affiliate news stations, depending on certain areas, were still doing news around 12:30. And that was when Port Charles came out, which I think was one issue. Second issue, they're competing with the Young the Restless. If you compete with the Young the Restless, just go home. Just go home. It was open before it even started. Which I think was another issue that was with Sunset Beach. That was another issue with Sunset Beach. All right. Terrell says The Doctors, which aired on NBC from 1963 to 82, has found a new audience thanks to reruns of the retro TV sub-channel. I did see that, Terrell. I did see that. I did. All right. And guys, so I'm going a little fast. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to get to all the comments in time. Jakari says, remember Rick and Mel on Guiding Light? Of course. Who could forget them? Towards the end, though, in Guiding Light, I felt like Rick and Mel fell on the back burner. Mel had a lot of potential as a character, but the Boudreaux, they had a lot of promise. They even brought in Montel Williams towards the end of Guiding Light. That was when they were having that little choppy YouTube look, the P-Pack years. I know Candace loves them, but Candace went to bend those years to the death. Which makes you sometimes question she really loves the soaps. I'm playing. All right. Terrell said, I never forget Guiding Light for killing off fan favorite Maureen Bauer in the early 90s. Yes, Maureen Bauer was the next Bauer matriarch after Bert had died. She was filling in that spot. Now, I want to ask you, Terrell, if you watch GH, do you see similarities between Maureen Bauer and Olivia Quartermaine, or is that just me? Am I smoking something, guys? If I don't want to see that, the similarities to Maureen Bauer and Olivia Quartermaine, because Olivia Quartermaine is, to me, they're setting her up to be the next Quartermaine matriarch. I know people are looking at it as Tracy, as Monica. there's certain things that a soap matriarch has, right? That Olivia Quartermain has to me. I don't know if anybody, does anybody else see that? Or y'all think I'm smoking something? All right. Jakari says Luke's coming out story on As World Turns. That was really well done. That was pretty well done. Like Kenneth said in one of her lives, they crawled so everybody else could walk. Isaiah says, I don't see how the most repetitive soap on the air has the most international appeal. Yeah, I don't either. But you know what it is, Jakari's one factor I can say is their half-hour format, which allows me broadcast in other countries. Because other countries, their soaps are half an hour. They're not an hour. South Africa's half an hour. The UK's half an hour. Except for I want to say the Spanish soaps, but they're called telenovelas. They have a whole different format, but most of them are like half an hour. And so that allows that to be like marketed to larger audiences. And then of course it has an appeal. The way B&B is set up, it can appeal more international audiences. General Hospital can't have that appeal. It just can't. I don't think it would work with international audience. The Young and the Restless kind of does, which is why I feel like the writing has been repetitive in those aspects. So us American viewers, we're struggling with that because we feel like this is not relating to us. But also at the same time, they're trying to keep everybody working, everybody putting food on the table, whether it's Trix cereal or bagel and cream cheese, whatever it is. We're putting on the table these days. All right. Okay. Jakari says Guideline was popular in Italy and As World Turns is popular in Dutch. Yeah, they did have some international broadcasts. Even All My Children was in France at one point in time, but not enough that it stuck or it helped them. If that makes sense. Let's see. Terrell says that's one of the biggest reasons why people loathe Jill Farron Phelps. But I watched her interview on Alan's Locker Room, and I felt like that was needed. That was like, I watched Jill Farron Phelps, and I understand what she meant by killing off Maureen. Like, she regrets it. I think hindsight, she regrets it now, but she needs to have an impact. We need to have an impact. That's the only, like, think about right now, the Hook Killer. We cared about Brando, but we didn't really care about Brando. We didn't really, or they had a floating river explosion. And I think it was Lou's boyfriend got killed, and then it was Dev who got killed, and then Carly and Sonny made Dev's death all about them. Yeah, we were so great to him. We were just perfect. Yeah. But I get it. We need to have that impact. It's kind of like as I'm watching Another World and classic other soaps, like Search for Tomorrow, I'm watching that as well. The storylines played out in a certain way, and you really got to love these characters so that when they died or they had an affair, you felt that impact. It was like, damn, why did you do that? Who was rooting for you? We were all rooting for you, That's why you felt that impact. Okay. So Terrell says, Ryan's Hope did an amazing job for its relatable portrayal of a large, close-knit Irish Catholic family in the 70s, 80s. Yes, and Tashina Arnold was on Ryan's Hope. Found that out some time ago. Ryan's Hope was another one that it was a slow burner. So not all the classic soaps in my mind were slow burners. They weren't. So when stuff happened with the Ryan family, with Delia or whatever, you felt that. You felt that. Candace Mack said she loved P-Pack and Guiding Light. Candace, I wonder if you really love the soap fans. I wonder if you really love us soap fans. I wonder sometimes. I'm playing Candace. All right, Jakari says they didn't use the Boudreaux that much, unfortunately. Yeah, they didn't. Towards the end, I don't think they did. They didn't really use them that much. They had a lot of potential though, but they didn't. Candace says, "Wait, say what?" No, Candace loves the soap, man. She loves the soap. She loves it. But I feel like it's what happens with Marley Love is directed Guiding Light. Okay, they did what they could do, but that was just, I'm gonna give them a pass. They were in their last days, dead soap walking. They did try. I'll give them that. They tried. Dolomac says, what do you think of Amazon bringing back the Australian show Neighbours? And do you think they might bring in American soaps back? I caught the end of Neighbours. So I never got the chance to watch Neighbours. And then one time I was actually thinking about trying to get into it. It got canceled. I was like, well, damn. I don't know if they'll bring back American soaps. I don't know if they'll bring them back. I feel like right now is the best time for them to start like a streaming platform from soaps, like kind of like a soap net, but in a streaming way. I feel now is the perfect time to do it. I mean, even with Peacock, I think Candace brought this up, how there could be reruns of Another World on Peacock, and based on that, they can gauge the interest of whether they want to bring it back or even bring some of the people from Another World onto NBC. But I don't know if they own those rights since it's Procter & Gamble, and it's a whole different situation. Candace Max says, Olivia Maureen, hell no. Really, Candace, you don't see the comparison with Maureen Bauer and Olivia Quartermain? Okay, not so much. okay, don't look so much at certain elements, right? But in terms of a matriarch, how Maureen married into the Bauer family, right? And how Olivia married into the Bauer, not the Bauer, the Quartermains. You don't see those comparisons? All right. All right. Okay, Candace, the card say just DM'd. You got to check your DMs. All right. Meek said R&R Phyllis got fired by her daughter and now hired by her son. You know, with Phyllis, I don't blame Jack because I'm just like, you know, Phyllis, what did you think this was going to do? This is going to harm your grandson, Harrison. What did you expect this to do with Jack? What did you expect this to do? When he came in and he was like, I just want to let you know something. Marchetti is a subsidiary of Jabot. I am Jabot. And I was like, you tell him. You tell him, Jack. Jack, you tell him. That's the Jack that I know. That's the Jack I remember when him and Victor got in that fight, and Victor says, I like that seat. I like you. I want you out of it. And then Jack says, you want this seat? You want it? And he takes that seat and he throws it out the window and he goes, go ahead, have a seat on me. All right. Dolomec says Olivia being a matriarch shows how much GH has decimated the Quartermains. Really? Because Tracy Quartermain is not matriarch material. And it's not because she was feisty or bossy, because Stephanie Forrester was, but Stephanie Forrester was still a matriarch. There's a certain like formula. And Olivia has that. Because honestly, if Olivia was not married to Ned, I feel like she would have no purpose on the show right now. And I hate to put it like that because I'm not making it sound because you guys know what I'm saying. It's not so much because they're being a woman, it's just because it's Olivia. All right, she would really have no purpose right now in GH if she wasn't married to Ned. She really would. All right, Kaiwan, is it Kaiwan? Because I think Taiwan. So Kaiwan. You know, my first name was actually Dewan. I don't know if you guys that. So Dewan, Kaiwan, kind of rhyming a little bit, but okay. Kaiwan says the two most useless steps in the world, two most useless soaps, useless soaps in the world. Okay, which of those two? Azrael turns Guiding Light. Which soaps you referring to in particular? All right, Jakari says, let's be honest, Azrael turns. Ooh, I got to catch up on this chat, guys. I got to catch up. All right, guys, I'm going to have to just breeze through this right now. I'm going to have to breeze through. Hold on, guys. Hold on. To breeze through here. I'm going to catch up. Stephen Ambrose. Stephen, welcome back. Stephen said the whodunits can be classic. Who killed Will Corton? Then Loving had the Loving murders of Gwen as a killer. The Loving murders was great. When she was like, I killed my own son. Ah! She had the needle in her hair. She's like, ah. See, and Gwyneth was which I think she was a matriarch for the Alden family for the longest time. And see, that's how you do a shocker. See, I want soaps to step outside of that box, not just to do things for shock value, but make it a reason why I'm shocked. Like when One Life to Live first had, it was one of the first few scenes where Vicky, it was revealed that Vicky had an alternate personality. There was a lady at the bar with red hair, you know, making a call. She sounded all sexy and sultry and seductive on the phone. And then when she turned around, you saw Vicky's face and was like, you know, it was a Friday cliffhanger moment. Like, what the heck? Like, Vicky at the bar? What? Which, you know, that was smart writing on One Life to Live's part because that was how Vicky got to do so much as a character, but still have her character salvaged at the same time was a DID thing. It was a perfect mixture because Vicky, in a sense, never really got compromised. We never felt like it strayed away from her character formula because just blame it on the DID. Oh no, she did DID. All right, guys. Let me catch up. Let me catch up with this chat. Let me catch up. All right, let me catch up, guys. I might skim through some comments, guys. When mad at me, as I'm skimming through. I might only if I've read a comment for that person, I might try to skim through so I can catch up here. All right, let me see here. Isaiah says Candace, Mac, Franz, Phelps, and Pratt probably helped, but Guzan never liked the cues, and the vets only started going on when he returned in 2002. Okay, Sarah on the Tomlin family says, "Oh no, I like Tracy way more than Olivia." Really? Okay, yeah, Tracy got that fire. Olivia to me had more of a purpose when she was a Benson, her psychic. Now it's just like the turkey scene on GH with the Thanksgiving. It was cute and all, but I'm like, is this what you guys are spending the money in the budget on? Like, is this where the money is going? Like, is this where the money is going? Training turkeys to run around the kitchen. This is where the money is going. This is why you can't pay people what they're worth, so we don't have to keep having 28,000 revolving storylines. This is what y'all guys are doing. This is what y'all doing. All right, so Kaiwan, I'm gonna go back and read some past comments here. Okay, so Candace says now Olivia and Nadine from Guiding Light are cut from the same cloth. Candace, let's chat. Let's chat about that. Nadine, okay, is it the psychic thing? Because that's the only thing of similarity I see between those two. Nadine was a mess, okay? We all know what she did. The Billy Lewis with that baby. I think it was with Maureen's niece. The name is escaping me, but she took Maureen's niece's baby and was trying to, well, she was trying to pass off as her own at the time to keep Billy on. And she was murdered by Brent, that Brent guy. And he had a whole like a disguise where he disguised himself as a woman or whatever. I don't know if I would say Liv and Nadine are cut from the same cloth. Candace, we got to chat about that. Miss Mac, we got to chat about that. We got to chat about that. All right, Kawan said that Santa Barbara and General Hospital have the same writings. It's a possibility. I'm watching Santa Barbara 2 right now. I'll tell you guys, I'm watching them all. I'm watching them all. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, Steven says Kelly Ripa is trying to bring back All My Children in the form of Pine Valley in a primetime format. Yes, she is. But I don't think ABC is buying it, and I feel like ABC has to buy it because that's where All My Children came from. It just, I don't know if it's going to work any other way, and I don't think ABC has a streaming platform yet. Do they? Are they part of any? I don't think so. Oh, Disney Hulu. All right. Kaiwan said I just don't understand why they don't put some of the old episodes in the 80s and 90s on the A. I'm guessing like streaming. I mean, probably this. You know, it's a little bit of this. Come on, we all know it's this, guys. We all know it's this. This, a little bit of that. All right, Terrell says audio soaps like Forever and a Day and written web soaps like Footprints, Town and Country, and ODAAT have been keeping the genre alive and well for the past couple of years. I agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that, Terrell. Forever and a Day, I'm still on season 2 and catching up. It's giving me 1930s guiding light. So I'm loving it. Honestly, it's nice because I get to have this visualization as I'm on my walks. I'm listening to it. I love it. And then there's another one by Queers and Soaps called Tomorrow's a New Day. So maybe one day y'all guys will do a crossover. I don't know. What do you think? But I feel like that's like Procter & Gamble NBC. When we see the crossover we want to see, you know? All right. Tom Costo says, well, Heather is back, so maybe she LSDs Olivia again. Probably so, but because the fact that Olivia was once a psychic at one point in time, they can play on that in the future. But I feel like every soap legend has been like a psychic one time. Reba was a psychic once on Guiding Light. Like in 03, should I have these mysterious visions? Oh gosh. Okay. Dulmax says GH just needs to have an explosion next year's Nurses Ball. The cast needs to be trimmed. You know, I think they want to do that, Dulmax, but they can't be messing up them sets. You know, whether you do them explosions and them natural disasters, it messes up the sets. They got to rebuild. And you know, they use those sets for like multiple times throughout the year. Like Olivia's parents' house, not Olivia, Liz's parents' house was Portia's old house. And I think it was the house that Valentina and Anna went to was Elizabeth's old house and also Carly's old house. I've been noticing these things. That's why they're not destroying these sets. They got a budget to stick to. But I feel you. It would, we need those high stake moments in the soaps. Keep us on the edge of our seat. All right, Terrell says Bridget Reardon. There it is, Bridget Reardon. That was her name. Yes, Reese's niece, Bridget Reardon. And let's not talk about Matt Reardon. That was Matt Reardon. Come on now, them eyes though. Let's talk about it though. All right, Kenneth says, yeah, let's chat. Kenneth's like, what is DC smoking? Olivia and Maureen. I'll tell you, but I see the similarities between the two. All right. Kaiwan says, up to season 3. What do you think you're up to? I'm up to season 2 in Forever and a Day. I'm up to season 2 Forever and a Day. I got to listen to season 2, episode 1, so I got to catch on. So no spoilers, anybody. You know how to do spoilers. I hate spoilers now. All right. Lisa says, did you think Cassie and Richard's son survived during childbirth? It's a possibility. I feel like Cassie, once Laura Wright left, it just didn't work. No. I don't want to talk about actors and their acting. I feel like it's personal when I say it like that, but it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like when they did the Annie Dutton recast. Just like, yeah. But I get it. Maybe they had to complete the story. They had to complete the story, guys. What do you want me to do? Dolmax says, I'm kind of feeling Forever and a Day. My go-to for listening to John. Yes, I love Forever and a Day. It's my go-to as well. I love it. Those little car rides. I love it. You could just escape. You know what I mean? You can just escape. All right, Colin says, if you can have any musical guest in General Hospital, who would it be? I don't know who would be. I remember soaps used to have musical guests. John Legend, maybe? I think John Legend would be a good guest to have on. Maybe he'd be singing at the Savoy or something. But I feel like they can't afford the musical guests. That's why they got local talent singing. But it's not a bad thing. We had Blair singing on Would Like to Live, but it's not hitting the same way. They're very talented, but I don't know. It's not hitting the same way. It's not hitting the same way for me. Ken says, "All guys, thanks for the love, Forever and a Day." Yes, guys, follow Forever and a Day on podcasts. I think it's on Spotify as well. I follow Apple Podcasts. I'm sure it's on Spotify. Other definitely go out and support, guys. That is a good That is a good audio drama. It is a good audio drama. I tell you guys. I know some of you guys might be new to like listen to an audio drama. It's like, what? What is that? What? I thought the same thing too. But Candace, oh my god, that that audio drama is just like it was so good. And I mean, this is how soaps originated too. So they're just going back to basics. Her and Casey are just going back to basics. I love it. All right, Steven says classic baby swaps are soap staples. Erica taking Maria's baby, All My Children. Best Jess Test taking Stars We Want Like to Live. That placed a baby switch with a DID storyline, One Like to Live Gold. Yes, it was, because it's not like Jessica just switched the babies. It's her alternate personality. So if she's not tapping on the personality, it's like, who was gonna know? And her and Star were cousins, so that's why the DNA was able to match on some capacity. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. I love that with the whole Jess and Tess and Best thing. She's like, Jessica will cry over spilled milk. Tess would yell at it. We are neither. We are best. And she brought out the glasses, and there always had to be a pair of glasses somewhere nearby when Best needed to emerge. I loved it. All right, Dolomex says they can just fade to black like Days did in their cliffhanger for the explosion. Yeah, but it's not the same. That's not the same. We both know that's not the same. That's not the same. 23 people watching, guys. Thanks for coming on. 23 people. Isaiah says, what was your favorite period of One Life to Live? My favorite period of One Life to Live was the Eternal era. The Eternal era was probably my favorites. When they heard the with the big song. That was probably one of my favorite eras of One Life to Live was the Eternal era. Definitely was that one. Jakari says, I don't like how they do black characters in Days. Every one of them went to jail. Honestly, I think Days actually writes for the black characters pretty well. If you think about it, they're in high positions of society. If you really think about that, and I think that's very consciously done on Days, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I feel like with Days, you have Paulina, who's a real estate mogul, and now the governor elect, which we don't even know. They still haven't said what state they're in. We have Chanel, who runs a bakery shop. We have Abe, who was the mayor, his daughter Lonnie, who was the police chief, and her husband Eli Grant, who's also black, who's also not the police chief, I'm sorry, detectives. They're like detectives or cops. I think they did a pretty good job, honestly, I want to say. Hold on, guys. Let me go through here. What was your favorite All My Children moment? When JR fell out the window, when he ran out the window. Kenneth says, oh, we know DC's favorite character thus far on Forever Days Day. Yeah. It's actually, who is it? I think it's Stephanie or Leslie, the one that's Isaac's daughter. She's actually my favorite. She's definitely my favorite on Forever and a Day. It's like she's a young Vicky Lord and a young Lucinda Walsh at the same time. She's giving a little bit of both. Terrell says, there's no way of ever bringing One of My Children Like to Live back to ABC. GH has made several sporadic references to Pine Dot Land throughout the years. Yeah, I think after Prospect Park, they're like, yeah, we're not even going to bother with that. Even though Prospect Park, I think, won the lawsuit, but Prospect Park went bankrupt as a result with that lawsuit. So, which is stupid on their part, but what are you going to do? All right. Kaiwan says, experimental folk singer James Johnson for me. I never heard of him. I'm going to check him out. James Johnson. I'm check him out. Stephen Ambrose says, favorite All My Children moment, Will Cortland Killer revealed a crowbar wielding Janet Green. And I think Will was dating Haley Chandler too at the time, right? If I'm mistaken. Come on says, I think it's Minnesota. Isaiah says GH should bring back its old music for the 6th anniversary. I don't really care about the 6th anniversary for GH. I have low expectations. I mean, as low as it can go, to the floor. Not even to the floor, to the ends of the earth. Jakari says mine's when Jesse and Angie reunited. Yes, when they had Alicia Keys on there, back when they could afford to pay for them copyrights. The Keys music on there where Jesse and Angie reunited. Steven says Days is the most diverse American soap. Black, Latino, Asian, LGBTQ. They present everyone respect. They do. And I think they make them more multifaceted characters, which for me, when I was watching, I'm supposed to be talking about past shows. Y'all always give me the modern stuff. We always do that. We always mix in a little bit of everything. But I noticed how past soaps is that you got to see the storylines had such a sense of realism to them that it felt like you were really growing up with the characters in a sense. And now with Days, I feel like Days, there's like real life people that we see every day. And I want to say something. Oh God, I probably shouldn't say this. I went to a wrestling show last night, right? For NXT. And oh Oh God, I don't know if I should be saying this. It's kind of spicy. I don't know if I should be saying this. But there's a similarity I noticed between soap fans and wrestling fans. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not. Let's keep reading the comments. I'm not even gonna go there. Days is the most diverse. Okay, I read that. Okay, I read that already. Steven Domek says Days is some of the best work of black characters on Days. Days has a long history of their heroines getting in trouble with the law. Yes, they do. Shikari says that was around the time All My Children had no diversity. Yes, they didn't. Because once Daniel was it Chief Fry left, there was no diversity. There was that. Lisa Depeche, like, is that like Depeche Mode? All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Very unnecessary. They can only do harm. All right, anyways. Lisa says, I really like the Baby Switch crossover between the soap All My Children Want to Live and Want to Live GH Sans Baby. Oh, yes, All My Children Want to Live, Baby Switch of Babe, and then Want to Live in GH. It was good. The One Like to Live and All My Children Baby Switch was good. Oh my God. I hope that got more acclaim back in the time when it did, because that was pretty good. Do you think that Jason is a Jason by the woman back in the 90s? Okay, you got to repeat that question from Kyle. I think I got a sense what you asked, but repeat it for me if you can. Like, retype it up if you can. Tom Costos or Costos? I hear Costos. Tom, are you a Cassinine? I hear a Greek last name. You're a Cassinine. I've got a Cassinine in the chat. What's going on? I'm just playing. I'm kidding with you. Best GH, the original Ice Princess, Foreman Mansion Mystery, Text Message Killer, and Ryan Chamberlain. Text Message Killer the best. Ice Princess, I'm getting tired of it because it's been redone 8,000 times now. I don't even remember what the storyline was even about. The Quarterman Mansion Mystery, I caught a glimpse of that, but not the whole thing. Terrell says B&B hasn't had a black core family since the Avons. We're now a little fan. The Avons were the best. Oh my God. And you know how Julian Avon really only accepted Maya because he wanted some of that Forrester money? That felt real to me. That felt like so real, and it was so good. All right. Colin says similar writing style. GH doesn't know what to do with that Marshall Ike Hot Daddy storyline. No, they don't. Thomas Stanley says, what? Wait, what on what? Kenneth says some WWE writers are soap writers and vice versa. The Tyler fam says, DC, speak it. All right. Okay, I feel like, and this is kind of, I think, part of my issue with soaps, and wrestling can kind of compare this, because here's the thing with soaps, right? And I watch international soaps. I make the comparisons all the time. You guys can hear me talk about it ad nauseum. At international soaps, you can really see yourself in the characters and the realistic. I'm not saying realistic occupations, but not to say like what we see in America was unrealistic. But how many people do you know own a media conglomerate? I don't know that many people. But when you look at soaps like Hollyoaks, I know people who are teachers. I know people who are like nurses, and these kind of careers I feel like get overlooked in soaps, right? Because everyone has this big shit, blah, 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 mansion, all this other stuff going in. They got a media conglomerate, all this other stuff. Like, it's like these shares. And it's not to say it's not realistic, because it is possible. It is. But how many people do you know are like that? And it's like the people that are doing the marketing on soaps, their audience are not living those lives, right? And so this is something I noticed on wrestling, right? When I was watching last night. And it was so funny because I was in the wrestling arena, and I was my mom and brother, and there was this like, oh my God, like there's this guy next to us. It was like, there's one wrestler had a picture. It's like, yeah, take it off. You're hot. I was like, what now? I was like, we're really going there, okay, all right. But anyways, what I noticed about wrestlers, right? And I think some of them do steroids. I think that's part of it too. Because this is my whole thing. If somebody got a 6-pack and without the light shining on it, something ain't natural there. But if you need some light to shine that 6-pack, make it show. That's an all natural one. And I just feel like the people that they're marketing to are not living the way they live or look the way they look. And it was kind of the same with soaps. So I noticed that similarities, right? Like sometimes the soaps, we're being marketed to by the soaps, right? In a way. But we're not living those lives. I don't know that many people. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I feel like if I was in my Candace Mack historian speak, this would sound perfect. But I feel like it's not reflecting the audience well. if that makes sense. And I feel like it could, but I feel like there was a time those soaps really did reflect the audience. So if that makes sense, guys, want me to expand on that? Let me know. So Kaiwan says General Hospital writing the 80s refill Moorish. Okay, repeat that for me one more time. I could be going really fast in chat. Steve Ambrose says, I'm watching the diversity with Angie, Jesse, Michael, Bianca, Lena, Zarf, Zoe, Reese, and Marissa. I didn't like the Marissa storyline on My Children. I didn't. I'm sorry, when Alexa Havens left as Babe, I wasn't even feeling the recast Babe that came in either. Terrell's Eugene Bellinger says, I do remember when Why Not caused so much controversy when they recast the role of Keisha from a black woman to a white woman. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Domex says wrestling comic books have a lot of similar soaps. Yes, because in wrestling, there's a storyline. There's a storyline. The wrestlers come out. They have this whole storyline, this whole persona. They come out. Soaps paved the way. Soaps really paved the way for wrestling. Is that right now? I was telling my brother last night. They paved the way. And he's like, all right, you said that enough. You said all the time. It's enough. But we paved the way. Okay, Tom Costa says the water pathogen. And Tom Costa's concerned he's a Cassadine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a long lost Cassadine in the chat. I'm kidding. Kawan says, do you think Dex is AJ from AJ's fiance back in the 90s? I think that Dex could be a Quartermain. I really do. I think he could be AJ's son, and that would be very, well, I wouldn't say poetic justice because Michael's already AJ's son. So I could see it, or maybe a long lost son of Jason. But does Jason need another child to be a deadbeat too? I think he has. I think 2 is enough. 2 is the limit. All right. Steven says best GH Luke and Laura's wedding official mic drop. It was as controversial as it was, and we have to admit, guys, Luke and Laura saved the show, and it sucks because I feel like that legacy can't even be expanded upon no more. But that was a big part of GH. I'm just, okay. Steve Ambrose says Hollyoaks. So much happens just 23 minutes. So much, yes, so much. It's like a blink and you miss it if you don't catch Hollyoaks. And I've been behind the Hollyoaks for a day, so when I'm behind the Hollyoaks, I actually have to go back and watch everything. I can't just catch it where I left off, like with BNB or whatever. I can't do that. You just can't. You can't. I think I missed 1 week, and then DeMarcus got out of jail, and all this stuff was happening. I was like, well, damn. All right. Candace says GH Willow was my favorite character because she was a teacher. Yeah. But that didn't last long. But see, in Hollyoaks, you have like 3 or 4 different characters that are teachers, not just one, and they show the actual school setting. I can appreciate that. South African soaps do a little bit of the same thing too. So I don't mind having the exaggerated media conglomerates and all this other stuff, but give me a little bit of realism too. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt a little bit to give me a little bit of that. It doesn't hurt. Like how during the early 2000s soaps, every soap character had a talk show. Erica Kane had one. Reva had one. Everybody had one. Liza Kobe and Adam Chandler had one. Everybody was getting a talk show. The soaps. And I'm like, how many people do it over like that had a talk show on a radio station? I mean, okay, maybe now, like a podcast, yeah. But how many people do we know had that back in the day? So all right. But that brings a question, guys. Would you guys want more of those realistic elements in soaps, or do you like it just the way it is? Like, how do you feel about that? Okay. He says, thank you, Kenneth Maxwell, as being the real G. Yes, I agree. Kawan says, film war. Hold on, guys. I gotta scroll back on the chat. Hold on, Kawan. From the film war. Hold on. He made a comment. Okay. Come on. I got to just keep it going, Kawan. But I got you. I got to keep this going. Hold on. I'm doing a bounce at. What? I think I'm caught up. I'm almost caught up. What? I'm caught up. What? I'm almost caught up. All right. Simon Stewart 2003 says the problem is the writers act like the fans are stupid and can't get into intelligent story writing. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Like even Trina's scenes, I was just like, okay, like I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't hit. It didn't hit the way I thought it was going to hit. It just didn't hit the way I thought it was going to hit Trina's storylines. It didn't really hit. Stevie Ambrose says, let's not forget Blair Kramer wanted to live as originally an Asian woman, then became a white woman. Yes, she was. But here's the thing. Do you think that Blair could have carried on like the way it is now? Do you think not anything to do with being Asian, but just that particular actress? Do you think she could have carried on Blair the way it is now? Do you think it's a possibility? And obviously we can say no because look where Cassie DePire brought the role to, but I'm saying with that particular actress, I think her name was Mia something, could she have carried the role of Blair to some point of that degree? Could that have worked? I wonder, honestly. But it was a little weird casting. It was a little weird casting. Kind of like the 2 Trinas. That casting was a little bit drastic for me. It's something wrong, but it's like 2 Trinas are completely different. But then again, I don't know if that was done on purpose for another reason that GH had. You know, I don't know, because Trina looks nothing like Portia, nothing like Curtis, nothing like Taggart. It's just, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It was just, but I like the new Trina though. I like her though. I like, it's not that I don't like her, but it was just very dramatic casting done. It was like the Aunt Viv thing on Fresh Prince. You know. All right. Okay, guys, I'm actually pretty caught up. I'm really happy I'm caught up. Terrell says, I don't really think that Freddie Smith would ever reprise his role some of these days. It was seen that he's moved on with his life away from acting. Yeah, he's doing real estate now. He's done. And he's smart to do real estate. He's an actor. He's got the connections. That's how you get the big money coming in. So I don't blame him. Him and his wife are doing real estate. They're done. They live in Orlando, Florida. They're done. I'm telling you, they're done. They're done. All right, Dolomag says, I always appreciate the fact that Hollyoaks characters have real jobs. Yes, right? Come on now. You got Felix and Warren running a mechanic shop. You know what I'm saying? And you know the thing is with British soaps, nobody has a big exaggerated mansion. Did you notice that? I know that's just me. I noticed another characters have that kind of stuff. South African soaps, you do see that. There are the haves and the have-nots. But in British soaps, like everyone's kind of like equal level playing field pretty much. Nobody has a big mansion in the sky or under the sun. No, nobody has those things on hold on, let me charge my my computer. I'm not gonna put it out. I'm not gonna pull an Albert, you guys. I'm just playing. But nobody has a big exaggerated mansion on those shows. You can really feel that. Let's see here. Dolomedics once again says the closest we get to everyday jobs in American soaps when Alan and Chanel are seen wearing their sweet bits apron. Yeah, I feel like we should put more of that on TV. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, with someone having a regular day job and making an impact from that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like even sometimes with TV and media, it's so glorified that you have to have this exciting thing going on. And this is why I don't feel like as a society, sometimes we tied our value to what we do, but what we do is not always who we are, you know? And I compartmentalize it too, you know? It's not always who we are as people. So, and I learned that from watching Married to Medicine. That's because people are doctors doesn't mean they don't be acting wild in real life. But that's a TV show. We're not gonna go there. All right, Lisa says, oh, wait. Okay, Terrell says, glad the Hunter King, the former Summer on YNR is doing so well in the Hallmark movie market. You know, those Hallmark movies, man, they just be coming out every 2 seconds. And I swear they got the same plot. I swear. All right, Kaiwan says, I'll say she's too dull. Who do you say is too dull, Kaiwan? Who do you say? I'm not going to catch him in the chat, so don't worry. I'm going to be more current with you guys. All right, Lisa says, they brought All My Children Pine Valley. Maybe they could cast a child of Adam and Brooke and rewrite history. Now, if they do come in with Pine Valley, they have to make the show general enough that new audiences can catch on. Because if it's only going to be for the older audience, that's going to be problematic. And that's the problem I think is with current soaps, is that you have to write this in a way. Like, you need new audiences, but you have to write this in a way where new audiences can come in and don't feel like it's going to take them 8 months to catch up. I'm not saying you need to repeat things over and over, like, oh, hey, Aunt Tracy, how are you? My favorite Aunt Tracy. No, you have to keep using those titles, but it helps so we know who's who for new viewers. All right. Kaiwan says, not sound like a Republican again, but because I'm a Republican, but do you know how in America you can do anything? And I feel that too. I feel that. I'm not a Republican, but I feel that because I do feel like you can do anything. And I feel like I wish soaps would show more of that. Like when I was watching Another World with Ada and Rachel is married to Mac, you know, Zia, Gordy Publish, and all this other stuff. But she can still come in the mother's house and wash some dishes, you know. And Ada just had a regular house, which for that time, you know, and it felt realistic. I'm not saying that everybody. It's gonna feel realistic. Everyone's not rich. It's not about that, because that's kind of, I think, going into a lack mentality. It's not about that, but it's just like being able to see yourself in these characters. I think that's important. We need to be able to see ourselves in these characters. Like the Avons, I was able to see myself in them, and it's not just because they were black. It's not just because they were black, I swear, but it's just the way that Maya's father, Mr. Avon, carried himself, and then the whole Sasha thing, and you know, Sasha was the best friend. It just felt real, and it's funny because that's a soap trope that's been overdone so many times, but it's the way that it's done that makes the difference every time. It's the way that it's done. All right, Medora. Hey, Medora. Medora says, I think Trina's scene about Rory didn't hit because we didn't know anything about Rory. Nothing to invest on. Yeah, Brando's scenes kind of hit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Rory, he was just in there lifeless. I was like, okay. I was looking at the delivery menu for Domino's at that time. I was looking at the delivery menu because I wasn't intrigued. There was nothing about Rory. We didn't see nothing with his family. We don't care. Once again, another death that's like the least impactful. Brando was at least something, but even then, it needs some work. Kaiwan says anime, yeah, in America you can do anything. I'm Republican, you know. Okay, all right. Shout out to Republicans. You know, I was watching a debate today with Candace Owens and this guy named Bill something. It's like a liberal and Republican debate I was watching. It's interesting, but we're not gonna get into politics here. We're not gonna go there. I like to always hear from both sides. I'm gonna say, why do people think the way they do? I think it's important. But anyways, Albert says, "What you say, bro?" Well, you know, Albert always does this. Albert, well, guys, I'm at 5%. I gotta go. Like Albert didn't know he was on a line. I'm playing. All right, Kawan says tuna. Steve Amber says, what are your favorite current or past LGBTQ characters on soaps? Luke and Noah were not my favorites. They paved the way, so I'll give them their credit. But they weren't my favorites. Luke was way too needy. He put Noah on a pedestal. I know y'all saw that. Noah was on a pedestal in Luke's eyes. And that's the worst thing you can do in a relationship is put that person on a pedestal, because I'll never forget what somebody told me years ago. Whatever or whoever you put on a pedestal has no choice but to look down on you. And that's what happened a lot with Luke and Noah. I'm not saying Noah looked down on Luke, but he knew he got it like that. He knew that. Luke was too naive. He was too naive for me. He was too naive. Luke was also a little bit desperate too at times. He was desperate for everyone's approval. That's nothing I did not like about Luke's storyline. He was desperate for everyone's approval in Oakdale. Like, it got on my nerves after a while. It's like, bro, you know. And that's the thing too, is like, that was the difference. Bianca wanted her mother's approval, but Bianca wasn't desperate for half a pound dollars approval for her being lesbian. She wasn't desperate for it. But you did ask my favorites. Let me get to the favorites. My favorites is Will and Sunny. And who else were one of my favorites? Kyle and Fish, I Won't Like to Live. They were my favorites. Felix and Brad. Brad should never been with Lucas. That was just not done right. But I'm not even gonna go there. Just not gonna go there. All right, Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, "Are there any soap recasts you love that you feel are criminally underrated?" I love the Trina recast. God, who was some good soap recast? The Lulu recast, Marcy Ryland. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. I said it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Marcy Ryland is a better Lulu than Julie Marie Berman. I said it on this live. Julie Berman was good. Don't know she was good, but Marcy Ryland brought something different to the role. And at first, I wasn't sure if she could execute it because I wasn't feeling her as Abby in Young and the Restless. And I remember when she was Lizzie on Guiding Light. So to me, she still was Lizzie. She was still that young girl who got pregnant by Jonathan Rando and still trying to find her way in life and was being manipulated by Alan Spaulding. But when she came to GH and they gave her this investigative reporter role, excellently done in my opinion. Excellently done. All right, Simon Stewart says, do you think the YNR GH anniversaries episodes would be good? I think YNRs will be, but I don't think GHs will be. No, I don't think GHs will. I have low expectations. They say great expectations, Charles Dickens. I have low expectations. DC Constant, okay? All right, best soap recast, Aaron Torpe to Bree Williamson as Jessica Became Like to Live. Yes, they looked almost similar. Honestly. Bree Williamson to me was just a more mature version of Aaron Torpe's Jessica. So it worked. It was like a merging. And they brought Aaron Torpe back as baby Megan on the 4th anniversary when Vicky went to heaven. So it worked. And Sarah Michelle Gellar to Alicia Minshew as Kendall Hart on My Children. That felt a little bit different to me. I saw the Kendall scenes. They felt a little bit different. They felt a little different to me. All right, Dylan Mack says, I agree about you seeing yourself in soaps. I'm a big Days fan. One of my favorite things about it has always been the grandparent-grandchild relationships. Yeah. You have the patriarch and the matriarchs and all of this stuff. But the writers have to set the next generation well. If it's not done well, it's not going to work. Medora Bohannon. Albert's supposed to be resting. You better be in bed and not eating noodles and ice cream. Is Albert sick? What happened, Albert? Is he sick? What's going on? All right. He said, I love Reed and Luke better than Luke and Noah. Yeah, Reed gave Luke a chance to just be respected and not be needy. You know, like Noah, I think got a lot of instant gratification from Luke. That is the worst thing you can do in a relationship. Get some instant gratification. I'm telling you, it is the worst thing you can do. You know, listen, okay, listen. It's the worst thing you can do. All right. I've been in a couple relationships in years. This is the worst thing you do is get some instant gratification. Do not ever put them on a pedestal. And that's what did that bothered me all the time. Albert says it does mess up your battery while you're charging while using it, so be careful. All right, I got you. I got you. Taiwan says some of the worst aspects of a gay man is the Brady's. What, like the Brady's on days? Oh, Brad has some of the worst aspects of the game. Yeah, Brad's character. There's so much they could have done differently. But see, Days got it right. Days got it right. That's how you write for LGBT characters. Days is the only one that's done it successfully. Put them at the forefront, give them storylines, give them history, and developed out their characters to more than just the relationship. So, you know. All right. Domex says Julie Marie Birdman was Lil Lulu, but Marcy was grown woman Leslie. Yes, I like that. I like how you put that, Domex. I like how you put that. Terrell says, I wouldn't mind M. Ryan come back to GH as Lulu, but she really focused on being a full-time mom. Yeah, she's busy. It's a tough job doing soaps. It's tough. All right. Albert says, more adorable Hannah. I'm just laying here supporting my God. See, thank you for the support, Albert. Coming on in. Lisa Delpeche says, did not like Guy like Jonathan Tammy storyline. Is it because they were cousins? Because after a while, I feel like viewers got over that, funny enough. All right. Kaiwan says, hello, General Hospital 2. Too many ghostwriters. Yeah, GH right now. And it's funny because no one blames really the writers. They blame Frank. So you ever notice that in soaps? Both don't ever get blamed. It's usually the executive producer gets blamed or the writers get blamed. It's never, ever really both. Like, no one's blaming Ken Corday for anything that's happening. It's going to go to Ron for whatever reason. Even though Ken Corday has been the EP for, probably since he was born, literally. This is his parents' own days. Jakari says, I hate to say this, but I didn't like M's portrayal as Lulu. It reminded me too much of Lizzie. Yeah, it did. But I was able to adapt. Jakari says, who's your favorite Lizzie and Guy like? Definitely M. Riley. The one that was before her, and I think she also played Stacey Marasco on Light to Live. It didn't hit for me. It didn't hit for me. It felt too bratish, but I feel like when M's Lizzie came in, it gave a little bit bratish, but like also I can be a grown man at the same time if you write for me that way. Terrell says, I would probably give Frank Valentine credit for saving GH the same way he did for One Night to Live years ago. I do. I give him that credit. I did give him that credit. I don't have to fired Ron, but everything happens for a reason because I don't think necessarily the GH writing, the GH audience could have accepted his writing that well. I don't think they could have. And I think the way GH has been written, I don't know that his writing would have worked probably for the long run. Okay, Medora says, what happened to the gay black nurse on GH? Wish they would bring him back. Felix is his name. Felix was a good character. That was a good character. I don't know. I don't get, they brought in Felix's sister. They could have brought him with Brad. You see what they could have done if Felix is still on? If they ever bring him back, put him with Brad, and for some reason, he finds out something about Miss Wu, and she kidnaps him, and then Brad has to make a decision, and he accidentally is going to shoot Miss Wu, but he shoots Felix as an accident. Or even, if they put him back with Lucas is already part of a crime family, the Jeromes, and maybe Lucas is stashing Julian Jerome somewhere to help him out, even though, Julian was a deadbeat and trash. And then Brad finds out, and it's a threat to Mrs. Wu's territory. Do you see how that just writes itself? You guys see how that writes itself? That just writes itself. I don't have to do anything to that. That just writes itself. That just writes itself right there. But I guess because what happened to Wiley, Brad is this trash guy and all, poor Charles. We know Carly has done worse. We know she's done worse. Still out here switching paternity tests. She has not learned her lesson. That woman has not learned her lesson. All right. I honestly thought when the lady came in to go talk to Drew, I knew she was getting paid off, but I didn't actually think Carly. I was thinking Madeline Woods. I was thinking Nina's mother. I was honestly thinking Nina's mother, which is stupid. I don't know why, but I was thinking Nina's mother. All right, so okay, let's see here. Hold on, guys. Hold on, catch it up. All right, Jakar says, remember when Lizzie tried to kill unborn Emma? Oh yeah, I remember that. She was getting on Olivia's nerves and my nerves at the same time. I remember that. Bill Max says, what do you think is the most underrated rivalry in soaps? That's a good one. Most underrated rivalry in soaps. Vicky and Dorian. I think Vicky and Dorian was the best rivalry. It's like they hate each other. They always hate each other, but they knew at the end of the day when to come together because their families were practically combined. And Vicky did some messed up stuff to Dorian. She did some messed up stuff to Dorian. Like, let's not act like that didn't happen. Vicky was not a saint. Yes, she had ID, but you still did it. No pun intended. And it's like the same with Abby and Gabby on Days. They had that same kind of rivalry too, because she killed Andre Demare and Gabby was framed for it, and Gabby couldn't have kids as a result, and that's why Gabby became a diva. And so I don't see Gabby as what she did was wrong. Even with Kristen right now, you can't get me to believe that Kristen is a villain. This all happened because of Victor Kiriakis. He didn't do that stuff with her child, his babies, and assisting with all that, and Xander. Because Kristen was in a good space at that time. She was in a good space. I'm the type of person, I always get why the person is a villain. What made them that villain in the first place? I have a soft spot for the villains of the soaps. I don't know why. I just do. Got a soft spot for them, right? I just do. All right, I got a soft spot for the villains. All right. Let's see here. Graham Stevie says Flex was on a comedy tour last I heard. Felix was on comedy tour. Yeah, I think he kind of realized nothing was going anywhere at GH, so he just kind of moved on. And I don't really blame him. I'm be honest, I don't really blame him. It looked like they had so much potential what they were going to do with him, and they just didn't do it. Stephen Emerald says, was it not freaky that Paul and Will on Days got involved by marriage? They were uncle and nephew. Paul was John's son, and Will is Marlene's grandson. It was just skin crawling. It was in a way, and I know he considers. See, that's a weird. Like, does he consider John a grandfather, but then he doesn't? Because I know Sammy damn well does not consider John her stepdad. She doesn't consider that man nothing but her mother's husband. But see, this is the thing too. Brady is also. Will considers Brady his cousin. They some days they do. It's like some days they consider Brady his uncle. Some days they don't. Some days they do. Some days they don't. So all right. Terrell says, do you consider All My Children's Brooke English, Marie Santos, Pine Valley's version of Brooke Taylor and Logan Hayes? I would say Brooke. Well, I won't say Brooke and Erica. I won't, because I feel like they existed in two different universes. Those two. I mean, they didn't have, I feel like, enough. Well, probably maybe the years I watched, they didn't have enough direct contact for me to put it or frame it that way. Kaiwan says, are you going to have any write-off of General Hospital? Who would be? If I was going to write one off. Austin Gatlin Holt, which is sad. It's just sad. Like, he's a Quartermain. And they're not even right. They're like, it's like they made us forget that he was even a Quartermain. I don't think the writers know what to do with him right now. They don't know what to do with him. And I'm sorry, I'd rather Esme had been Felicia's daughter. This is not unsoapy. For her to be Heather Weber's daughter, this does nothing for me. This really does nothing for me, this whole storyline of Esme. Joel Mack says Gabby and Abby are basically millennial Vicky and Dorian. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are. All right, Stephen Emerald says, what do you think of John Anderson's passing? It was sad. My biggest thing is, Stephen, is that I hope they handle his passing well, and not like they did Joseph Muscalo, who played Stefano on Days. They really just wrote off his death like it was nothing. And I hope that they don't they did not handle that well. I don't know what the reasons was, but it was done really badly. So I hope with John Aniston, they handle his passing well and they give the right type of tribute. Because that man has been on that show for so long. Like, to not do would be so disrespectful at this point. And who knows, if they do it right, maybe Jennifer Aniston will come and bless the people. She'll come and bless the people. You know that's going to put a boost in ratings when Jennifer Aniston comes on the show. That's going to be a boost in ratings. If she comes and blesses the people. All right. Medora says, let's give Ava her flowers. She's hitting it out of the park regardless of the writing, and Carrie Nicholas on her back. His acting is blah. I actually like Nicholas's acting, but the writing for Ava Nicholas is just, every character just kind of feels off the wall for me right now, GH. I don't know if there's one storyline that I can say I'm looking forward to, but GH is actiony enough that I'm able to ignore it for 45 minutes. It's actiony enough. B&B, I can't ignore it because it's just not there. It's just the storylines and the dialogue is just too ridiculous. But on GH, like, I don't know. I mean, them just killing off Rory, the Hook came, like, I saw that scene. So Rory fired the shot first for the Hook person again. He fired that shot. I don't know if y'all saw what I saw. He fired that shot first. And what was he doing in the first place? That was my question. They didn't even explain that. Why was he doing that in the first place alone? I don't know. This makes no sense. All right. Dolomex says the thing with Days is you can't really think of ages and relationships. Then you have to remember Kristen was almost Brady's stepmom when he was a kid. And technically, see, this is the thing. They rewrote history to make Brady no longer a Brady and a Demira. Because remember, John was a Brady and Demira. That was the whole thing of the whole seventh son of the seventh son reveal back in 2008. Which I hate that they undid that, because that was just the perfect ending to this whole pawn thing with Stefano. And John could have been the CEO of Demir Enterprise. That could have been a whole new thing. You guys, they could have played on with John for the next 10 years or so. Missed opportunity, but whatever. So I feel like I feel like with that, like, and see, Kristen is not even a biological Demira. She was a foster child of Stefano. So technically that so many things, guys, going on. So many things, guys, going on. So many things. But see, this whole thing where John and Marlena are trying to like put a ruse on Kristen, it's just stupid. It's gonna backfire. Marlena's dumb. I wouldn't even play with that kind of fire, especially knowing their history between those two. I wouldn't play with that type of fire. All right. Terrell says the ratings for GH have been quite up and down the past few years or so. I guess a long-time viewers checked out because they didn't feel about the writing. I think so too. I don't know what Days is even. I'm sorry. I don't know what GH is really trying to do at this moment. I just don't know what they're trying to do. I don't get it. I don't know what the direction is. I'm not captivated by any writing. Nothing speaks out to me. And it's sad. It's sad. This is ABC's last soap. I don't know. Maybe because they're not. Maybe because if they were on streaming, would it help? Maybe would they be more edgier? Would they feel like they can tell more stories? You know, maybe they got to charge a fee to help. You know, keep the lights on. All right, Stephen Ambrose says there's been speculation of bringing Brendan Brady back to Hollyoaks as a different actor. Thoughts, ideas? Okay, who is this character, Brendan Brady? Because there's so many Hollyoaks, Stephen. Remember, I only started watching since April, so I'm still kind of catching up on a lot of people. Who is Brendan Brady? Can you explain to me which families you're part of? Jakar says I miss when soaps had action music. They had some music this week when they found out that Rory died. The whole on GH dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I love when they do that shit. But it was wasted on Rory because I didn't feel anything. Okay, Kaiwan says this come up quick is boring. Which come up quick? Which come up quick is boring. Lisa Delpeche says I think Rory wanted to be the hero by trying to catch the hook killer, which is stupid. It was really stupid, honestly. Like he just went there solo. PCBD. I wonder, is he gonna get the same kind of funeral that Nathan got? Remember when Nathan got his funeral and Jordan was there? You know, and Jordan was all detective number 9556 has taken his last moment in the line of duty. Detective Nathan West. We are now remembering Detective Nathan West. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I was in the doctor's office when I saw that. The doctor's office like, they're like, Duane, are you ready? I was like, I was just glued to the screen. I was like, oh my god, this still was that was good. And they folded up the flag and they gave it to Maxie. That was good. That was good. And I've seen a lot of funerals like that, not been to one, but seen them. And they did that, I felt almost exactly to precision. Sarah on the Tom family says, but how was Dante right behind him? Was Dante following or did they come together? Yeah. How that's the thing too. How did Dante even know to follow him? There's so many loose ends. Is it because of preemptions that they've been cutting episodes out? Because I'm like, am I missing something? You know what I'm saying? Dolomag says it also went back on John being an Alamein. John being lost, Alamein or Demir would have been the perfect endgame for his character. Yes. Him being an Alamein, I saw that storyline with him and Forrest, and that was a good twist. Undid that. And then they made him a Demir, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is why Stefano has his huge beef and all this other stuff, and da 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 da. And at one point in time, John was running the Demir household. But now, oh no, we're just gonna do it in 2 minutes so Brady and Teresa can be together. But where's Teresa? Nowhere to be found. I hate it when the writers do stuff like this just to tell a quick story, not realizing you could have stories for days, no pun intended. You got a story for days to tell off of that one storyline. Like this whole think about it, think like this way, guys. The whole Michael and AJ thing and the whole Carly switching to paternity, that has played out over the past 20 years of GH. We're still feeling the ramifications of that to this day. And that was just based off of one story being told right there. One story. And that's good writing. When you can have one story, but it tells multiple stories down the line as a result. It creates that domino effect. And that's what John being a Demir would have done. But they missed the mark, in my opinion. Because I'm like, who's his parents now? Did they even just say who it was? You know? Okay, Dolmac says Brandon Brady was a big couple with Steve, I believe. Oh, was he the one with the guy with the black hair? Was Steve's first boyfriend or whatever? Was that him? All right, Kaiwan says, how much children Adam lost his memory? What was the storyline called? On All My Children, Adam lost his memory. I can't remember that. I can't recall that. I remember he was married to Erica. That's one of the most early storylines I remember. When I started watching All My Children in 06, when Kobe Chandler came to town, and she's acting like a brat or whatever. She was dating Sean Montgomery, which was Jack's nephew and Bianca's brother. Terrell says, I feel like Weinar didn't know what to do with Noah. We could have gotten a Noah-Kyle rivalry. After all, he's a legacy character. They don't know how to write for Noah. They don't. Every time Noah comes to town, it's the same plot line. Ex-girlfriend from the past comes back with something going on, and he leaves town again, and we got a new actor. I'm over it. I can't take Noah seriously at this point. They should have had him kill someone. Maybe he had a long-lost boyfriend or something. Make it soapy. It's not working for me with Noah. It's still not working for me. And this Allie girl, they need to take her away from Noah fast, because she's going down. It's like a snooze fest, and she's getting snoozed on too, in the process. So it's not a good way to do it. I don't know. Allie could have had a way different storyline. She's an Abbott. Don't do what they did to Colleen. They're just it's another Colleen part 2, unfortunately, and I'm not feeling it. Colleen Abbott part 2. Lisa says Nathan was a lot longer. Rory's there only 6 months. Yeah, Nathan was. I don't think I even care anymore who the Hook is now. I mean, obviously it can't be Esme, but I don't think I care anymore who it is. I think the writer's like, oh yeah, we have to remember we still got the Hook storyline. So who's next? Let's kill off Rory. He's next related to Trina. Let's kill him off. So who is the Hook? Can't be Marshall. It's a man. So who is this woman? Who is this woman that has connection to Trina that's not Esme that could be killing off all these people? Because Rory is not tied to Sonny Corinthos. Everybody else prior was. But now Rory ends that link, that chain. He ends that link. So who could it have been? Miss Wu? That's the only thing I can think of. Tom Costa says Dante was going to investigate the Venom dealer. He didn't know Rory was going. Oh, okay. That's what it was. Okay. Jakar says name is Sexiest Man Alive. Hold on. 2022 soap edition. Lamont Archie, who plays Eli Grant on Days, best looking man in the world. Stephen Ambrose says, who are the power couples, both straight and LGBTQ? Power couples on soaps? Let's see. Who are the power couples on soaps? Bone Hope, John and Marlena, hands down. John and Marlena, hands down. They've managed to have consistent writing, and they're still interesting to this day. And they both look good. They still look good. Who else are the power couples on soaps? I have to say Gabby and Steve and Stefan, like, the 21st century millennial version. Eli and Lonnie, I feel like another one. Jeez, who else? I almost said Alexandra and Alan on Smaller Guy, but they're brother and sister. So you can't use that. All right, who else? Who else is in the good power couple on soaps? Jeez, I'm trying to think of somebody from Y&R, but like, who was a direct couple? I know individuals, because I'm not gonna say Victor, Nikki. Nikki, to me, she's Victor's shadow. That's her occupation. So I can't. That's not a good example to use. Sonny and Carly, they're toxic, but they were a power couple. Toxic, but a power couple nonetheless. Power couple nonetheless. Simon Stewart says, I feel Billy and Adam could be the next Jack and Victor rivalry if the writer is writing. I don't know, Simon. I think that's what they try to do, but it's just I wasn't here for it. I don't know. Okay, Domex says, I remember when John stomping around the Demir mansion with Ava on his arm. I love Bad John. Yeah, they don't talk about that romance enough, how him and Ava used to be together. They don't talk about that enough. Which lines do you think Weinar would tell for Harrison to be aged up as a teenager within a few more years? One, I think his connection to Ashton Locke and his mother, Tara, so they can revisit that. If Tara comes back, that they've opened up that writing there. Him taking the realms of Jabot. I also think Ryan doesn't write well for the next generation. They don't know how to do that well. Like transition past baton storylines. Do you think the writers are killing off Juliet and the Hollyoaks? I think that's a possibility from what I'm seeing. I think that's a possibility. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, Steven. The last episode I saw of Hollyoaks is when Verity died. I'm behind as hell. I'm behind was when Verity died. Which was just so sad. She really tried to help out her brother too. He was acting all weird and kooky and crazy. Just all right. Jakari says Maxie has a curse. Okay, Kawan says, I think this is my sister. Good night. All right, Kawan, thanks for coming to the chat. I'm probably going to end the next 10 minutes, guys. I'm going to end this on the next 10 minutes. Jakar says, Max is a curse of dead boyfriend's a husband. Yes, she does. Terrell says, why aren't our Trulians being Fenn? Michael Lawrence, I'm back. I wish the writers would let him come out as a gay man. Well, the actor who plays Fenn is now playing Sonny on Days. So I don't know if you guys know that. He's now playing Sonny on Days. They didn't know how to write for Fenn either. They didn't know how to write for him. They didn't know how to write for Fenn either. It was a mess. I remember watching that. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. The hook killer has to be the nanny that has been writing to Esme. If not, it has to be the DA. Diane would have recognized her. But do we care if it's the nanny at this point? Let's be real. Would that even be soapy for us if it was the nanny? Because now we already know who Esme's mom is Heather Weber. So do we really care about the nanny at this point? If you really think about it, like, do we really care about the nanny at this point? Like, I know that's what I'm saying, Lisa. I think you have a good point. I think it could be, but would that be as impactful if it's the nanny who's going around killing people? Because I don't see that as impactful. The serial killer has to be someone that we know, someone that we've kind of come to know, and we haven't come to know the nanny. So I don't think that would have kind of impact. It's kind of like when Diego Alcazar was revealed to be a text message killer. He wasn't on for a while, but we have already come to know him for years on being on Canvas and being Alcazar's son. And it had an impact because he knew Maxie. He knew the victims. It had an impact. So, but I don't know if it was the nanny, we would feel that type of impact at this point. Lisa says, are we sure Heather's the mother, no DNA? You're right. So it's open to history rewrite. I would prefer to have been Felicia. It would have been better if it was Felicia. It would have been better with Felicia. Steve Aaron says, do you think that Thomas on B&B could possibly have sexual on B&B? Yes. But they're not going to go there. They're not. I'm telling you, they're not. B&B is not going to write a good storyline, guys. Just get ready for another Brooklyn thing, part 25, part 30. That's why I watch being every 2 weeks. I don't miss nothing. Sarah on the Thomas family says, can we talk about why these soaps use the same names as each other? There are literally thousands of names out there not being used. I have noticed that. We got Finn on GH, Finn on B&B. What else we got? We got what else? I'm trying to think. Hold on. We got some more. Hold on. We got some more. Hold on. We got some more, guys. It's escaping me. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to think. Gosh. Because I know there's a lot of similarities with the names. I'm trying to think. God, if I can recall. Is there Spencer on both soaps? No, there isn't. I'm trying to think. Oh, Sunny on GH, Sunny on Days. God, who else? There's some more. Oh, Willow Stark, Leo Stark. Come on. Jeremy Stark. So got Willow Stark, GH, Jeremy Stark, YNR, and then Leo Stark on Days. Come on, y'all. What are we doing here? You know, what are we doing? Who else? I'm trying to think of any more similarities in names because I do notice that there's a lot of repeated names. I'm like, y'all can't be a little, creative a little bit on some of these days. I feel like when the name just seems so random out of nowhere, that's a character that's not going to be on for long. All right. Terrell says the last episode All My Children ABC ended on a cliffhanger, little a bang, not counting the infamous Prospect Park reboot. Yeah, when it came with that recast of JR, I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Yeah, what is this? Akeisha Moraine, Akeisha. She says, I think it was supposed to be Felicia. Ryan had to remember Felicia when telling Esme about her mom. I get he's an unreliable narrator, but I still think the writers switched it up. I think the writers changed at the last minute too. And I don't like that. I feel like if it was Felicia, it would have been better because had it been Felicia, we could have seen her struggle with the fact that, holy crap, that this is my daughter. I had Ryan Chamberlain. And maybe she turned out to be like this because I wasn't there for her. But at the same time, I know she ain't shizzle. But at the same time, I want to be for her because I'm her mother. What do I do? And I wasn't there for my other daughters. We could have seen that struggle. And then everyone, poor Charles, hate her. But Felicia's like, I got to stand by her. That's my daughter. Come on, guys. Come on. And Mac would have stood 10 toes down for Esme. Well, 7 toes down, not 10 toes, 7 toes down for Esme, just because off of the strength that she's Felicia's daughter. And that would have been another struggle for them in their relationship. You see what I'm saying? You see how that just wrote itself? That writes itself. That writes itself. That writes itself. And it gives Esme the opportunity to kind of be redeemed. She can still be that bad girl, but it gives her the opportunity to possibly be redeemed in the future. So they missed that mark. Dolomag says, what do you think of some of the soapiest character names of all time? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Stefano Demira. That was a soapy name to me. Um, what are some other soapy names? Victoria Lord. Dr. Doria Lord. Dr. Doria Kramer Lord. That's what a soapy name. What are some other soapy names I can think of? Um, Jeez. What are some other soapy names I can think of? I'm trying to think here, guys. I can't think of anything at the moment. Alistair Crane. That's another soapy with Alistair Crane. That's just that fan for Alistair Crane. There's some more. I have some more Dope Mags. I'm gonna put them out. Lisa says, "Me too. Felicia was an option. I think what happened to her real life son changed the storyline." Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, this is like the second, third time I'm hearing that being said. Um, but it's not that Esme, I think, would have been dead. Is that she would have found out she had a daughter. So, but then again, like I said, I don't know how people process grief. It's very different, and maybe she asked not to do that. Maybe she asked for a lot of reasons not to do that. Isaiah says, I'm so sick of the Logans, the Forrester, Maronis, always getting the big storylines in B&B. Bring back Thorne, Rick, Bridget, Kristen, Felicia, etc. full time. They won't. Leslie Kay was better as Molly in As the World Turns. She got more meat when she played Molly in As the World Turns. They won't. They won't begin. They won't. But around that time, 06, they did get better storylines. They did. But they won't. Like when Allie died, not Allie's mom died, and then Thorne was dating Taylor, and the song that Taylor was on who ran her over. It was so much better back then. Steven Adams said Hollyoaks do a crossover for days. Two strong soaps in two different places crossing could be interesting. They could, but it's international. I feel like that would get really warped really fast. And I feel like the way those shows are designed are so different. There's a level of exaggeration that's in Days that's not in Hollyoaks, if that makes sense, Steven. So I don't know that those two worlds could cross. I could more so see a cross with Hollyoaks and GH. More so, or Hollyoaks and YNR. Jakarta says, how much B&B a month? Me neither. I don't blame you. Sean, hey, Sean. Sean says, hey, DC, I'm loving the Nick, Esme, Ava story plus Ryan, Heather. I'm looking forward to the Willow reveal. The only difference with the Liz and Nick and Nicholas thing is that Elizabeth is sacrificing so much for something that doesn't make no sense. Like, you just put yourself in a trap that you did not need to be in. You really did not need to be. Like, you lost Finn, and now Nicholas probably thinks he's protecting Ava, but really Ava's now getting ready to throw him under the bus for Esme's murder. I don't know why he didn't tell Ava this, that he was hiding her. And I feel like Ava would have understood. Ava was cut from that cloth. She's about that business. She's about that life. Okay. It was a mob boss. She's about that life. I don't know why he couldn't have told Ava that. See, this is what I don't understand. When people are in relationships with someone, you feel like you can't tell them something. Why are you even with them? If I can't even trust you, why am I with you? That's like Xander and Sarah. I have an issue with them because Sarah is too pious for Xander, and he has to go to Gwen for everything. And I'm just like, at that point, then you shouldn't be with Sarah then. If this is not the person you can really confide in, be the real you with, you don't need to be with her. If you got to put on a facade or an image or a guise just to be with someone, they're not the person for you. Even if you are a piece of trash. All right. All right. Terrell says, should network soaps follow in the footsteps of Days by Moon streaming? Yes and no. YNR and B&B won't do it because they don't have to. They got international money, so they're good. I think GH should. But it's just whether or not the network would support that move. You know, and it's like they have to have the blessing. It's like the Godfather. They have to have the blessing of the Godfather to lead the business. So, you know, Jakar says, who's your least favorite characters of All My Children? Kendall was one of my least favorite. Kendall and Zach were one of my least favorites. They were too pious and uppity for me. I really not enjoy them. Sean says, soaps have always done the name thing. I remember JH, Carly, and as well as Carly or Brooke, B&B and Brooke on My Children. Don't forget Carly on Days. They had a Carly on Days too. Carly Alamane, guys. Carly Alamane on Days. All right, Dolan Metric says, best soapy names for me are Felicia Gallant. Yes, of the world. Cast with Throp. That's what a soapy would. Ambrosia Moore Forrester, Amber on B&B. Yeah. Mercedes McQueen, Hollyoaks. All the McQueen, just the last one, McQueen alone, just feels soapy. River Carpenter, One Life to Live, who I believe was like the Buchanan grandson or something. Those are a few. Stephen Amber says, how about a One Life to Live to Days cross? Bring a few One Life to Live characters over to Days. Since the characters, yeah, but they won't do it because it's like it's two different networks and two production companies. It would never work. It would never. I think Guiding Light started on NBC, like an NBC radio series, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think they would do it. I don't think they would do it. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they brought some of the characters from Passions onto Days, but I feel like Passions has been on for so long and those worlds have never crossed. Like Cass Winthrop's name last week was the first mention we ever got of Days mentioning another NBC soap, from what I understand, because I don't recall them ever doing that before. Which Passions could have lived on through Days. They really could have lived on through Days. All right, Terrell says, from what I heard, some people say that the reason Jen Liley left her roles to Reese O'Donnell Days because of her conservative Christian beliefs. Listen, this is my thing, and I'm very respectful of people's beliefs, but my whole thing is this. If you are a very conservative Christian, right, I don't think being a soap actor is going to be the job for you. And just a guess. There's got to be a little flexibility on how you are seeing the doctrine of your faith if you're going to go be a soap opera actor or actress. Honestly speaking, this is not me being funny or mocking them, but if that was the reason that she left, did she not know that she was going to be on a soap opera? I mean, has she not heard of the genre? Like, it's not known. I mean, now, funny enough, guys, there is a Christian soap opera I am watching, and it's very interesting. There was a Christian soap opera back on the day in 1970s called Another Life, and it ran for 5 days a week on CBN. And it's weird. I'm like, they put all this on a Christian network? Like, what? Like, the storylines are all this. Like, this is on a Christian network? Like, what? Oh my God, this is crazy. Like, what? It was on CBN, Christian broadcaster called Another Life. Like, what? Oh my gosh. It was given after school special most of the time, though. All right, Lisa says, now that Thomas is fired from Forrester, maybe they can have Thomas work at Massimo's company. I think it was involved with fashion. Massimo wasn't killed off from the show. Yeah, but Joseph Moscato is no longer here, so it'll be kind of weird. The Maronis didn't have a business. Jackie Maroney, she had a business called Jackie M. And it was like they were kind of like they were like the Spectre Fashions of the 07 to 09 period. She had Owen and all these other people coming in. It was good, but they didn't deliver on the writing. They didn't deliver on the writing. Jakari says, what storyline did you hate on Passions? There wasn't a storyline I actually hated on Passions I can think of. Okay, the little Ethan and Ethan storyline with Teresa, that was annoying as hell. That was annoying, but it got to a point where it just you accepted it. It was like the Breckenridge Triangle of Passions, but Passions always kept that interesting enough. So I was able to they brought action to it every time. So I was able to look past the repetitiveness of it with Passions. Sean says the actress needed time off to deal with her grief. Remember, the show was filmed a few months in advance. Okay, with Felicia. Okay, well, that's case. I understand that. I totally understand that. And they could always rewrite history later on if she feels up to it. So I can understand that. Because in the day, these are people too. You know what I'm saying? They have their own lives outside of the show, and I think it has to be honored as well. Jakar says I hated Zach Kendall's a couple. Yeah, I didn't like them. They just had their noses up at everybody in Pine Valley, and it just bothered me. So I couldn't root for them. Like Todd and Blair were Todd Blair's not a good comparison because they're toxic, but they didn't really have their noses up at people like that. You know, Days never had a crossover with any NBC soap. Yeah, they never did. CBS has done it. I mean, YNR, As Well Turns crossed over. YNR and B&B has crossed over. As Well Turns Got Lights crossed over. As Well Turns Another World crossed over. GH and My Children When I to Live, they've all crossed over than each other, but never NBC. Is there a storyline you like to disappear on Days from Steven? Even Eric and Nicole got interesting. So actually, I'm enjoying. I'm satisfied and content enough with all the storylines on Days. Even the one with Sunny and Leah, I'm mad at it, but it's good enough, and I want to see where it's gonna go. So there's not a storyline Days like I particularly hate at the moment. I think they're all pretty good. Terrell says the Maronis were written out of B&B in the early 2010s, making room for the Spencers. Yeah, and the Spencers, it's been good, but it still needs some work. You see why Renee Jones left in 2012. Renee Jones, who played Lexi, they wrote her off with the cancer storyline. They could bring her back. They brought Bo back from cancer. They can bring her back too. Dolmac says, what was the story scene that made you a soap fan? For me, it was Vivian burying Carly alive, an iconic scene of Vivian rolling on Carly's grave. To me, it was when JR jumped out the window on My Children. I was 12 years old. I was eating my little buffalo wings at the time. It was a little pizzeria restaurant. And there's always these 7 guys in suits coming in every Wednesday afternoon to go in the back. I don't know what that was all about. I just minded my business. I was just there for the pizza. So You know, but when you're a Italian restaurant, you see 7 guys coming to suit at a particular time, a particular day, and they go on the back. It was giving John Gotti at the time. But my favorite scene was JR when he jumped out the window in Whirlwind after having an incident with Erica and I think it was Erica Bianca or Erica Kendall. Tom Costa says Asa Buchanan, best patriarch. Yes, Asa Buchanan. I don't feel like we talk about him enough when it comes to the conversation of soap patriarchs. He doesn't come up enough for me. He doesn't come up enough. All right, Stephen Ambrose says, did you feel the awkwardness between Kristen and John Days recently when they talked to each other? This was weird with Eileen Davidson. It is. But see, this is what I'm saying, Stephen. I said this on Albert's Live. I think it was Candace Lives too. Well, I was at Candace in the chat. I think when recast actors come into a role, if they can have people from the past that character had chemistry with or relationship with, they try to quickly have them establish a relationship so they could have that for flashback purposes, et cetera, et cetera. Like Taylor and Ridge. Honestly, if it was original Ron Moss and Hunter Tylo, I don't think they would have been put together because we've seen it 1,000 times. But I feel like because it was Thorsten Kaye and the actress, I forget her name, they want to establish that chemistry. And just in case they stay on the show for a long time, they can use that for flashback purposes and for scenic purposes. And that's what I think is going on here with John and this Kristen, because they haven't done that with them yet. And it's clear that Stacey Heidig is going to be on for a long time. So I think they're just trying to quickly establish that and then move past it. All right, Terrell says passion still resonates today because a lot of millennials who have watched when they're younger are rewatching. Yes, there's a YouTube channel. They post old episodes of Passions, and I watch it all the time. I watch it all the time, honestly. Passions was just good. You are my passion for life. All right, Lisa says, then Thomas Show could make his company. They could have him inherit some of Massimo's money. Oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe Thomas kept in touch off screen. That was still his grandfather. You're right. So maybe off screen they could kill off Massimo and Massimo just happen to leave some money to Thomas. And then Thomas could start his own company that rivals Forrester Creations. I think that's brilliant. I really think that's actually brilliant. But are they going to do it? The question is, no, they won't. And maybe what could be even soapy about that is Thomas has a mysterious business partner that comes to town, right? And the mysterious business partner is none other than Nick Maroney. Good old Uncle Nick. It could be Nick Maroney coming in. And then, you know what could happen? We usher in the storyline of Jack Maroney. And now we can revisit history. You know how Taylor gave birth to Jack when he was biologically Brooke's son? We can finally get this sorted out. You get like 3 storylines for the price of 1. So Lisa, I like that storyline. I like it. So I was connecting with you there. I was connecting with you there. All right. Simon Stewart says, get back to fashion. Jakari says, I couldn't stand Gwen on Passions. I know you hated Teresa, but there's some things that she didn't deserve that mess. Teresa put herself in a lot of situations. She was desperate for love. She put the Crayons on a pedestal. Just another. I hate it when soap characters put somebody else on a pedestal. It gets my nerves because I don't even do that. I've been in a relationship for 4 years. I don't even operate like that. I know better. But I did not like that she put this man on a pedestal. Simon Stewart said that's missing from the show. Terrell says Brad Bell turned Thomas into an a-hole since Matt Atkinson took over the role 2019, the final normal year for the pandemic. But you know what? This is giving something Thomas Meter to do, but they just got to write it right. Jakar says Renee Jones became a pastor or something. Oh my God, is she really? Okay, well, I guess it's hard to be a pastor when you're doing kissing and love scenes and showing it all off for the world. Okay, Jakar says DC, you're 5 years older than me. Am I? I'm 29. So am I? If you're 23, right? You're 23, right? Or unless you're 20, you're 24. You gotta be 24. 24. All right. Do you feel the Days is a superior American soap? This is my last question tonight here, guys. Well, unless some more come up before I go. Do I feel the Days is a superior American soap? Yes. At this moment, yes. It delivers everything that needs to be delivered in the soap. It's still kind of a little cartoonish at times, but things can't always be 100%. So it gets a 90% for me. 90% for me. Lisa says Nick and Ridge not get along. Who knows? Nick could still be single, show interest in Brooke. No, Lisa, no. Lisa, we were already doing good storyline. Let's not put Nick and Brooke. In fact, how about, I'm trying to think here. Who would be a good love? Because I don't want it to be Brooke. I don't want it to be Brooke. Like I just everybody have to go for Brooke. Everybody go for Brooke. Who could Nick be with? I wouldn't mind him being with Katie Logan, but anybody but Brooke. So Lisa, I'm almost there with you. Just don't put Brooke in the mix. We had a good thing going, Lisa, with the storylines. We had a good thing. Don't bring Brooke into it. Just don't bring Brooke into it. Please. I beg of you. Don't bring Brooke into it. All right. Terrell said the reason Marcy Walker left On My Children in daytime TV in 2005 was because she found God and retired from acting. But what about the actor who plays Chase? He said he's Christian. He's on soaps. Or does he feel like, or maybe his understanding of what it means to be Christian, a believer, and the doctrine he follows is different enough that he feels that he could do this without feeling compromised. Does that make sense? Krista Allen. Yes, that's her name, Jakari. Kristen Allen. Domeg says Days just feels like the most lived in soap. I like how all the characters have this natural feeling history. Yes, but see, that's the power of Carvelotti's writing. That's the power of the Carvelotti right there. Lisa says no. Wyatt's future mother-in-law. Wyatt's future mother-in-law. Flo. Okay, Flo. Okay, yes. No, not Flo. What is her name? The one that Denise Richards is playing. Shauna. So Shauna. Yeah, Shauna. All right. Okay. Yes. Maybe Shauna's his wife. Yes, and he comes to LA. Yes. All right. We're here, Lisa. We're here now. So we got Thomas. He's got a secret new fashion company. The person that backed him is also his secret partner is Nick Maroney, and Nick Maroney comes to town with his new wife, Shauna Maroney, which also be Bridges' ex. So we get the brother rivalry thing going on, and he brings his son Jack to town. 3 for the price of 1. I like it. Now, are we on the same page here, Lisa? We're on the same page now? I think we're on the same page, right? All right. Sean Meadra says, I like Britt on GH, but I don't see why they can't recast. I don't see why either, but I think right now GH is trying to cut all the weight off the show. And so instead of just getting a recast, and let's just drop it. Let's just drop the Britt character because the writing is no longer working either at this point. I mean, Sean, do we really want to recast? Because are you really even feeling the Britt storylines? Do you really like them? And on this question, do you really like them, honestly? Steven says, no, I'm soap. Are you watching The Crown? I am watching The Crown, Steven. I am. I was season 4 of The Crown. I am on season 4 of The Crown. So I am watching The Crown. I'm on season 4. That's a good show. I'm obsessed with all things the royal family. I'm not a big fan of celebrities. The royal family, I stand 10 toes down, learn their history. You know, I stand 10 toes down, the royal family. All right. Jakar says same thing as Renee Jones, Terrell. He says Shauna, The Crown feels soapy. It does feel soapy. That's some good writing off Netflix. Lisa says, yes, if Thomas leans on Nick more than Ridge, that would be issue 2. Yes, Shauna, yes. You're seeing the light. You're seeing it. But the problem is we're not going to see it on our TV screens. That's the problem. We're not going to see it on our TV screens. That's what we will not see. That's what we're not going to see on our TV screens. We're not going to see this. but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyways, guys, I've been on for an hour. And wait, let me answer this last one from Terrell. What do you think of any of Tyler Perry's primetime soaps? Primetime dramas. I don't know. I have this thing where I discriminate against primetime shows. I can't call them soaps. I feel like it's not right. To the daytime soaps. I just play it. No, but I don't call them soaps. I call them dramas. But to answer your question, Terrell, I have watched Tyler Perry's. Haven't had Not For Good. Then the storylines got weird along with the dialogue scenes after. I'm huge on Oval. I'm on season 3 right now. The Oval is good. Like, this is good. Like, every time I watch the Oval, I'm like, damn, what's going to happen next? But I can't watch too much of the Oval because I don't have dreams about government conspiracies. So I can only watch in little chunks here and there. Terrell says, what former GH star do you think has the most successful post-Port Charles career? Vanessa Marcel Giovinazzo. Love you too, Steven. Vanessa Marcel Giovinazzo. Just play Brenda. Elizabeth Taylor. James Franco. Who else? Best GH stars had a post-career. I want to say that's about it. Oh, John Stamos. Come on, y'all. John Stamos. Who else? Jack Wagner, who also played Nick on B&B, but also played Frisco on GH. He's on the Hallmark movies. He's doing good. That's smart. I think it's smart as an actor to diversify yourself, because even though you want to stay loyal to something, you gotta have something on the side. You always gotta have something on the side going on. You know, a side job. I caught myself with the next thing I was about to say. No, that part you don't need to sign on. No, you don't. You get one. That's one only. Okay, one and one only. Tom Costo says it's been fun. See you next time. All right, Tom. But Tom, you gotta tell us which part of the cast lines are you? Helena's or Miko's society? We want to know. Let's see. Lisa Depeche has Brit. Oh yeah, she's on Station 19, so she's doing pretty successful too. Terrell says, what former Daystar do you think has the most successful post-Salem career? Well, on Days, who on Days? Allison Sweeney. She did The Biggest Loser. She did the Hallmark movies, and she can still come back to Days whenever she wants to. She knows what to do. She knows what she's doing with herself. She knows what she's doing. That woman has a plan. She wasn't gonna let NBC make plans for her. She made the plans. Your thoughts of the new Sonny on Days? I like the new Sonny on Days. Honestly, I like him better than the older Sonny. I think there's more of a vulnerability I can see with this Sonny, more of a softness I didn't see with Freddie Wilson's Sonny. What do you think about him, Steven? Lisa says Nathan on Hallmark. Yeah, I saw that. A guy played Nathan on GH is now on Hallmark. Man, I don't blame them. Hallmark money's where the money at. You get to like do a quick little movie and get some time off because them soul stars, they don't be getting time off. It's hard for them to get a little time off. I don't know why they killed Stan on GH. Yeah, Stan was Epiphany's son. They killed him off so quick. You know, that's the thing. They've never given Epiphany a real role on GH. She's been on for the longest. See, actually, this is the thing. If she was on Carvelotti's show, if this was a Carvelotti show, they would have expanded Epiphany's role. And they did when he was writing for the show. They expanded her. They gave her more of expansion, but they're not going to do that now, unfortunately. Fortunately, they're not going to do that. All right, Terrell's coming with another one. Which wine artist started to have the most successful post-Genoa City career? Victoria Rowell. Victoria Rowell, I think this one. She's had a very successful. Who else? Who else, guys? William Foster? Is that? No, not William Foster. The guy that plays Snapper Foster on why not? I can't remember his name. Can't remember that man's name. But yeah, he's one of them. He's one of them guys. I can't remember his name. Oh, Lisa, that's a good one. Did Mariah meet Daniel? Oh my God. Yeah. Daniel killed their twin sister. We haven't gotten that meeting yet. Oh, that's a good one. Oh my God, I almost forgot about that. But you know, the thing is, I like Mariah's character, but I feel like it takes away from the legacy of Cassie. And that's why it's been really hard for me to stomach this. But I get it because Kevin Grimes wanted to come back and she's amazing on the show. They don't write for her well, but she's amazing on the show. Stephen Ambrose says Jensen Ackles on Days and then went on 15 seasons to Supernatural. Yes, he did. David Hasselhoff. Yes, David Hasselhoff. That's the name, David Hasselhoff. Yeah, Jensen Ackles, I forgot about him. Yeah, he was another one. Jensen Ackles is another one. Like I know like Jackie Harry was on Another World. She played like Lily or something, Lily Mason on Another World. Not like where Jackie is at. Jackie was a smart move to bring to Days. She was big enough, but not too big that you knew she wasn't going to leave you after a couple months hanging out dry. Because I think Jackie has enough respect for the genre, and they were going to write for her well. And I feel like it'd be kind of easy to write for her, especially on a soap. Shamar was Malcolm Weinar went on to have great sense of Criminal Minds SWAT. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Terrell. I remember him too. Shamar Moore. Anyways, guys, it is 8:24. I gotta sign off, guys. This has been good. I missed in my lives, guys. I'm probably gonna come back around New Year's time. Vivica Fox and Generation is another one. Well, yeah, Vivica Fox is a given. That's a given, Lisa. That's a given. That's a given. And Elizabeth Taylor was a legend way before GH. Sean, you're right. She was. But guys, I gotta go. This has been my time. This has been so sanctuary, guys. I had a great time with you guys. Guys, thank you for supporting my channel and rock with me. You know, I got to come on once every 2 weeks. You know, I had some life changes, some mix-ups going on. It's been a soap opera over here, too. I've been dealing with some Nate and Elena situations. A whole lot of stuff. That's me speaking in code and tell you what it is. I'll say what it is, right? But anyways, guys, it's been amazing. I'm glad to just be here with you guys, talk with you guys. Another thing I want to say, Steven, in response to your comment, I wrote this on the poll. How would you guys feel about Tia Mowry coming on to Days as a recast Lonnie Price? How would you guys feel about that? And I'm not saying because it's Tia Mowry, but I feel like it could work for multiple reasons. She has a star appeal. I could see her really actually playing Lonnie Price, and she's played Jackie's TV daughter before. So I don't know. I feel like it could work. And yes, Terrell, Eva Longoria is another one. She won the Desperate Housewives, and then she now is like producing shows. But anyways, guys, that has been the Soap Sanctuary for tonight, guys. I'm gonna put some polls. I'm still gonna be watching soaps with you guys. Check out my content. I'm gonna try to post sometime next week. If not, I'll probably be back around New Year's time. New Year's time, yeah, New Year's time. So no, she can't be Chanel, Steven. Tia Mowry can't be Chanel. Come on, let's not. Let's not. Tia Mowry can't be Chanel. It's just like Tia Mowry is one a lot more taller than the current Chanel is. It just no. Come on, Steven. Come on. Come on. Come on. We know she can really only be Lonnie Price. She had to be one of Pauline's daughters. It had to be Lonnie. It had to be Lonnie Price. You gotta think about it. Could she really play Chanel? Like, it's just she's a lot more older. She's a lot more taller. I don't know. I don't think it would work, Steven. I don't know. I don't think it would work. I'm not saying it's impossible, but two different skin tones, two different everything, Steven. I just don't think it would work. I just don't think it would work at all. I don't think it would work. But anyways, guys, I'm out of here. This has been the Soap Sanctuary. I gotta go. Thank you guys for joining me today's live. I'm gonna play my outro video, guys, and I am out of here, guys. I'm out. This has been DC Soap Sanctuary, made part and possible from subscribers like you. Thank you.